What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, latest and updates, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 1.79%, doing rather well considering the broader market is starting to pull back a little bit because of this. So you did have initial jobless claims coming out first thing, 241 versus 225. So another element that the market is kind of worried about for the most part. ISM manufacturing just came out roughly 1 minute ago, and it came in at 48.7, 47.2 was the forecast. So not good, better than the forecast, but it does kind of break the trend that it has been on the downtrend. So that's kind of a positive thing, but still it is below 50, insinuating more of a contraction in the broader market. So kind of not what the market ultimately did want. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that though, there's been a couple of things coming out alluding to something big coming for Lucid. So I did post this, or I retweeted. It was originally posted by Lucid Oasis. It looks as though that it was taken down, but I did say that big deals must be coming because his post did show that you had Faisal, you had the whole management, American management team out in Saudi Arabia. So we already do know, even though they haven't announced it officially, Black Lane. So I think there's going to be that partnership, but there is clearly a lot of big things coming because their earnings is roughly 5 days away. And for a management team to be in Saudi Arabia, we're just a foreign country, like this close to their earnings, like that's not a normal type of scenario that happens, right? So at the end of the day, that does mean that something big is coming. There was also this that was posted. It's just more of a copy from, I guess, LinkedIn, but it does show pretty much the management team in Saudi Arabia. This one kind of shows that they're going to be, or that they did meet with the Saudi Transport General Authority. So I think that there is big things coming. So meaning for this upcoming earnings, you never know what could be maybe a surprise that they have for investors. But nonetheless, I feel like this is very abnormal activity, insinuating something big might be coming. Additionally, there was this that did come out. So yesterday was a pretty iconic day. That is the very first Gravity DE was delivered, and so that is sitting at 139.9, pretty good. Doesn't actually state on how many they are going to be doing of this. So I know that was a big kind of issue with Lucid early on, is with the Air they had a fixed amount. I can't remember the exact amount at this stage or whatever, but ultimately it was very popular, so they were thinking about adding more to that, and I think it caused a lot of issues, and customers rightfully so disagreed with them on doing that. So maybe this is why Lucid isn't really stating how many Dream Editions they are planning on doing. It's probably just gonna be dependent on, I guess, demand or something like that. But yeah, good to see that they are at least getting some orders of the DE. So this is something that they'll have to talk on during their upcoming earnings. Hopefully is positive, showing that good demand and whatever else. But aside from that though, nothing really coming out from Lucid, no SEC filings or anything like that. So it's just been kind of piggybacking off of the broader market. Shorts though are still hell-bent on bringing Lucid down, increasing 1.18 million shares. So in my video yesterday, they increased, I think it was 8.5 million if I remember correctly. But shorts, yeah, I think they're just trying to ensure Lucid is kind of below that 50-day moving average, which they've largely failed so far. But 29.55% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 361.06 million shares overall are being shorted. So kind of interesting. Market just opened 30 minutes ago, so take this all with a grain of salt. But 189,000 in calls, 13,000 in puts. 55% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. So good start to the day at the no matter what. And if there are some big updates that does happen today, then I'll do a PM video as well, just to give you guys summaries of all that. But based on the bulls, you see a consensus for it to be above 250, and there's random pockets now assuming it will be above $4 by next week. So interesting kind of change of events. Maybe they're kind of looking at a lot of this, insinuating that a big announcement is coming, and maybe that's why they're kind of hedging or buying, being bullish right here. But based on the bears, you are seeing a consensus for it to be sub 250 for this week, and not really much options activity for the bears as of right now. But there was this random one, so 50 cent, that most likely was just hedging to lock in profits and stuff. But these are all the transactions occurring so far in the secondary market above $100,000. So three of which are buys: 193, 394, 966. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, there was a lot of very abnormal buys that's been happening with Lucid. Even though we haven't had any official news, maybe again they're reacting based on a lot of the rumors that's floating around. But good to see big money is kind of focusing and buying Lucid. These are all the transactions occurring so far in the dark pool, so pretty popular. And as per usual, this is often enough linked to shorting and other large entities. But right now with it, that is NEO, so you guys don't need that. With it right now at 257, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R1 and the pivot. So 241 is going to be a strong support, and then 264 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Even just looking at what's happening, so Tesla is red, NEO is red, and then Rivian is green. They've been oddly doing fairly well, but not to the same capacity as I guess Lucid for today. But yeah, good to see Lucid doing, again, outperforming the broader market. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings or anything along those lines. Even articles coming out, it's been just relatively quiet, and I think that's normal though, leading into the earnings. So in case you don't know, earnings is coming right around the corner, so that is after hours on May the 6th. But on the actual chart itself, still wedge bound between that 50-day moving average and that 100. So $2.38 is going to be that strong kind of point support based on the 50-day moving average. Bounced off of that yesterday, so we do know that's kind of very strong. Flip side, 263 is going to be the next strong target, and that is that 100-day moving average based on the moving averages. So at the end of the day, Lucid seems hell-bent on having breaking above that 100 going into their earnings. So hopefully it comes to fruition and you actually see it trading between, let's say, the 100 and 200, so between the 285 and 263, at least leading into the earnings. But we'll have to wait and see what they do mention and what they state at the end. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. So for instance, based on this, do you think, what type of announcement do you think that Lucid could come up with, or what type of deals do you think that they're finally starting to kick off on that 50,000 order from Saudi, the government, or do you think that there's more deals coming behind the scenes? So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord. It is completely free. A lot of good people talking about stocks, options, crypto. A lot of Lucid investors are there as well, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.